All right, here we go, folks. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me it's Ryan Mosier back with another Throwin Mitts? You're damn tootin', I'm telling you that. And guess what? I've got a special guest, his first time on the show. He's ready to make his appearance for the first time on Throwin Mitts. My friend, my co-host, Nicholas Mainous.
What's up, guys? What's up, everybody?
Dude.
We're ready. We're ready to talk about some UFC, about
We're
this
ready
big upcoming pay-per-view weekend. Not pay-per-view. It's not pay-per-view. It's a
No, it
pay-per-view.
is. It's the last pay-per-view event of the year. UFC 282, Ankalev versus Blachowicz, and so there's a little bit of history behind this card because it was supposed to be Yuri Prochazka versus Glover versus I can't remember his first name, but Glover. He had the belt. Yuri Prochazka beat him, and then it was a rematch for the belt. Well, Yuri Prochazka had an injury to his shoulder, one of the worst the surgeons have ever seen, and he's going to be out for the next year. So very respectfully, you know what he did, Nicholas? Instead of saying, I'm going to hold this belt for a year, y'all can fuck around, I'm holding the belt, he said, all right, I am the champion, but I will give up my belt while I recover, and when I recover, you bet your bottom dollar I'll be back. And so that's how you do that shit. You know
Wait,
what I mean?
who did he give the belt to?
Well, it's vacant right now. So these Magomed Ankalev and Jan Blachowicz, they're fighting for that vacant belt this weekend. And let me go ahead and pull up that slide of the fights.
That would be kind of crazy if he could just pick a fighter and gift him the belt. Like, you are the one. I choose you.
That would be nuts.
If you think about it, he could have forfeit a match to someone. But that would be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, but I would understand why you want to give it up. Like, you're gonna take a little retirement, and then you're gonna leave, get healthy, come back, beat someone's ass, and get the belt back.
Precisely. That's the
plan.
hope
he does it. I hope he does it.
Me too, because this dude's super respectful. He said to prepare for this fight, he locked himself in a completely dark room for like a couple days, like with no food or water. Like he's an animal. I know.
Oh, wow.
So, as we do on this show, right at the beginning, I go back through my previous event, which was UFC Orlando, right in my backyard here. Well, 2 hours away. It was a fire fucking card, man. It was so fun. It was an awesome event. And, we did pretty well. For some reason, dude, I'm not complaining about it. I like my flow state so far, but I cannot get away from winning 9 fights. Like, literally the past month and a half, maybe, each and every card, I've guessed at least 9 fights correctly, and then the rest or whatever. But so this last week, I went 9-5. That takes my overall record to 113 wins and 59 losses, with an overall win percentage of 63%. Not bad. Getting into it. What do you think?
So how many? So are there? So you said you went 9-4 or whatever. 9-5. So there was 14 fights, or how does that work? 14 fights.
That's right.
So does it go all day? Like all?
It starts at this card here started at 7 p.m. and it ended around 1:30 in the morning.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well,
yeah. And the time slots for the fights are usually about 30 minutes for the walkouts, for the introductions. Except for the main event.
The first few fights are kind of like they get them going. Like it's fight after fight after fight, and then like the main last two they give a little more time, right? Like to build a little more anticipation.
Yeah, and then the last fight is usually a 5-round. 5 minute, so 5 rounds for 5 minutes, and it's either the main event or the a title fight, right? And then all the rest of them are 3 rounds at 5 minutes, and that's that. Nice. But 9-5, 113-59 with a 63% win rate, which I'm super hyped about.
What kind of money did you make for this weekend?
So, dude, I was down from previous bets of just like NHL and stuff like that. I was down $200, and I got it all the way back up to 0. So I made 200, and I owed nothing when the bell came knocking. You know what I mean?
Nice. Now we just need to get in the positive range.
No, yeah, for sure, for sure. I do well. Trust me.
Hell yeah. I
But
need to get
dude,
into sports betting. There's like certain things.
that's that's not a good thing to say. I need to
There's
get into
certain
sports betting.
no, seriously. There's some things that I don't know exactly about the betting aspect of sports. You know what I mean? Like I know the overs and the unders and the plus minuses and stuff like that, but I want to be able to talk about like spreads and stuff like that, especially like on main review as well. Not just like the actual sports and what people are saying about it, but like putting money towards it as well.
Yeah, I can totally help you with that. I have a bookie as well, so
All right, amazing.
we can talk. It is illegal though, so we're not. But
Oh, in Florida.
so it's yeah, right. So
Okay,
let's get right into this UFC 282 card. What do you say?
let's do it.
All right, hell yeah, brother. I'm gonna add this to the stream here. Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev is what we'll be going through. And you know how we go on this show. We start with the main event and progress downward so everyone knows what I'm thinking, what Nicholas is thinking about this main event right off the rip, just in case you're not going to be staying for the entire time. But for everyone who's in that prelim gang, you know we're going to be going through the prelims, each and every fight for all those debuts, the newcomers coming into the UFC, this event, and it's going to be really exciting. So if you like what we got going on here, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. All right. So this main event is a light heavyweight title bout for the vacant title that Yuri Prochazka has vacated between the number 2 ranked Jan Blachowicz, the plus 225 underdog, and Magomed Ankalaev, the number 3 ranked minus 265 favorite. A little bit about these fighters. Jan Blachowicz debuted October 4th of 2014. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 39 years old, with 9 wins by knockout, 9 wins by sub, and 7 first-round finishes. Magomed Ankalaev, on the other hand, debuted March 17th of 2018. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 30 years old, on a 9-fight win streak and 10 wins by knockout. Looking at the matchup stats here, Jan Blachowicz, a lot more experience in the octagon with 29 wins, 9 losses, a win in his last fight. Magomed Ankalaev, 18 wins and 1 loss, still a very, very impressive record. Just looking at these two, what pops out to you, Nick?
Scroll down a little bit. I want to see the reach on.
So Blachowicz will have a 3-inch reach advantage.
Okay, gotcha. But then the other guy on the right, he's got the inch height. I honestly think I'm going with what is the guy on the right's name? Go scroll up.
Magomed Ankalaev.
Yeah, Ankalaev. I think that so this guy, obviously, John on the left, he's got more fights, but he's got more losses. And I think that this Ankalaev, I mean, he's 18-1. And that just kind of shows like a better win percentage as a whole, like based on the, sum of fights that he has. I think that if I had to pick right off the bat, it would be Ankalaev, personally.
I like it. Well, luckily, there's more information we're going to go through. So if you want to change your pick, that's perfectly fine. But let's look at the significant strike numbers between these two. A 3.55 average landed per minute for Blachowicz at a 49% significant strike rate. That means for every punch thrown, for almost half of it is a significant strike. That means it does optimal damage. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And his absorbed per minute being 2.77. That means he's only getting hit per minute maybe 2 times,
so he's hitting guys more significantly in big spots, and he's getting hit less than other guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's got a 54% defense. Now, Magomed Ankalaev, on the other hand, 3.64 landed per minute, very similar to Blachowicz, at a 54% significant strike rate, even better, and a 2.14 absorbed per minute. He takes those numbers just by a small margin, but he still takes those numbers for me with a 60% defense.
Yeah, it seems as if that I feel more confident in my pick just by looking at these numbers. I mean, Ankalaev's got him beat in every single category already.
And then our final, the final bit of information I use to get my picks are the grappling numbers. 1.08 takedown average over 15 minutes for Blachowicz at a 53% takedown accuracy, pretty good, with a 66% takedown defense. Ankalaev, on the other hand, 0.94 takedown average over 15 at a 33% accuracy, not that great, but an 86% takedown defense, which you like to see. So I think your intuition right off the rip was very intuitive, Nicholas, because I myself am going to go with Magomed Ankalaev in this fight, and I think the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean?
And this is what I think too. Okay, so based on these numbers, if Blachowicz can get Magomed down to the ground, if he can get on him and grapple him and beat that takedown defense, then I think that John has the edge. But if Ankalaev stays on his feet, he's defending the takedowns well, he's getting those significant strikes, and he's making those dodges, then I think that Ankalaev, it looks, so if it goes to the ground, John, but I think that Ankalaev, based on the better numbers in a lot of categories, will keep it on his feet, and he'll end up getting the dub.
Dude, I think you are spot on with that statement. And the big thing here is that 86% takedown defense. The guy's on a 9-fight win streak for a reason, and he's hot right now. He's on an absolute tear. So I can really see Magomed Ankalaev, pulling out and becoming a light heavyweight champion of the world. So it's going to be very exciting to see how that one plays out, guys. That's UFC 282. The main card starts at 10 p.m. And the rest of that card will go through as well. But remember, like, comment, subscribe. That's our pick for the main event of the evening. And then we're going to move to this co-main, which is so exciting. I cannot even fathom to you how excited I am about this fight. We have
Paddy Pimblett.
We have the rising star, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, at the minus 250 favorite, and Jared Flash Gordon, the plus 210 underdog. I actually met Jared Gordon at my place of work. He came in and I helped him get into a float tank to prepare for one of his fights. It was a couple of months ago, but so Paddy Pimblett, Nicholas, is this absolute star out of Liverpool, the United Kingdom. He is red hot right now. He's a fan favorite, and Jared Gordon is a veteran of the game, and he's still got a lot to fight for. You know what I mean? And this matchup is so interesting because a lot of talks have been Paddy Pimblett is only fighting scrubs. He hasn't really fought any big names or anything. Well, this time he's got it. He is fighting Jared Gordon. And let's get into some info about these two fighters. Paddy Pimblett debuted September 4th of 2021. He is a jiu-jitsu specialist, 27 years old. He's got 6 wins by knockout, 9 wins by sub, and 11 first-round finishes. Jared Gordon, on the other hand, he debuted June 26th of 2017. He's a freestyle fighter, 33 years old, with 6 wins by knockout and 2 first-round finishes. Looking at the matchup stats here, very similar records between these two. Paddy the Baddy, 19 wins, 3 losses. Jared Flash Gordon, 19 wins, 5 losses. A win in both of these two fighters' last appearance in the octagon. And I tell you, it's just going to be such an interesting fight. Let's get right into the significant strikes here. 4.19 landed per minute at a 53% significant strike rate for the Baddy, with 3 absorbed per minute and a 41% defense. Those are average numbers, not bad. With that type of production, the absorbed per minute is a little high, but still the significant strike percentage is good. Jared Gordon, 5.53 landed per minute at a 58% significant strike rate with a 3.11 absorbed per minute and a 57% defense. Now, at the end of the day, Jared Gordon takes these numbers on the feet in my eyes. I mean, you have more production at 5.53 and a higher significant strike rate, almost 60%. And they're both of these fighters absorb per minute is very similar at that 3. So honestly, Jared Gordon has the advantage here on the feet, but when you look at the grappling numbers here, 1.88 takedown average over 15 for Pimblett at a 40% takedown accuracy with a 60% takedown defense. The thing we will highlight, though, is look at this submission average over 15 minutes, 4.69 submission attempts on average over 15 minutes. That is a lot. You don't see a lot of fighters get above 2, I would say. So that speaks to volumes how comfortable Patty is on the ground and where he's going to look to take this fight. But let's look at Gordon here. 1.97 takedown average over 15 minutes. He's comfortable on the ground. He will take you down if he needs to, with a 39% takedown accuracy and a 58% takedown defense. 0 submission average over 15. Nick, what do you think so far?
Well, I think right out the gate, what we were talking about before with the significant strikes. So Gordon is throwing more punches.
Yep.
And he's hitting more of those punches.
Yeah.
So if they're on the feet, or I mean, it seems if Gordon is going to be prepared for Patty's takedowns, and because he wants to submit him and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think that Gordon has the edge just because of his on his feet game with his hands, But yeah. I think, like you said, if Patty can get him onto the ground and take him down, then he'll have the edge. But I think that really Gordon, they have the same amount of knockouts too, right? 6 apiece.
That's right. 6 wins by knockouts apiece throughout their professional career.
Yeah. And then who's the younger athlete?
That is Patty the Batty. He's 27 versus Jared Gordon, who is 33.
Okay. So I would say if Gordon was probably getting into his later 30s, 40s, I would pick Patty, but I'm thinking that I'm going to go with Jared Gordon here. He does have 2 more losses than Patty, but for some reason I'm just feeling the edge is going to who's got the longer reach?
Let's take a look here. Oh, wow. Large reach advantage for Patty Pimblett, which almost in my eyes, that erases those numbers for Jared Gordon, because if Patty Pimblett is struggling on the feet, all he has to do is stay on the outside, pick his punches, and kind of, move around the octagon in a fluid state and look for that opportunity to take him down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Patty kind of looks like if he was the 5th Beatle and he was their and he was their bodyguard.
Yeah.
Like he was their undercover bodyguard. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. I think that Patty is the bigger athlete, clearly, but it's going to be harder for him to make takedowns on a smaller opponent, wouldn't you say? And so, Jared's got a little bit of the edge because I think that maybe being a smaller opponent in this case, because he's good with the hands and he has better defense, I think that I'm still going to take Jared.
Yeah, man, that is a great that's a great fucking analysis of this fight. Because truly, I came into it heavy feeling Patty, right? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, when you have been betting on fighters for a while, you start to get in your head about it. It's like, I didn't bet on Patty his last fight out. And I bet against him because I was like, oh, he's just a hype train. You know what I mean? He's just a hype train. But he faced Jordan, the Monkey King Levitt, who is an all-star grappler, like best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's jiu-jitsu is amazing. And Patty punked him out. Of course, it was in the O2 Arena over in London. So Patty was the home athlete. You know what I mean? Everyone was cheering his name. They were trashing the Monkey King, which gets in your head regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And so I bet against him, and he just bitched Jordan Levitt out, man. And here I have a lot of respect for Jared Gordon, but in his last fight, he got beat. He won his last fight, but the one before that, he got beat. And I think with his last fight, the level of competition, I guess. But Jared Gordon has fought everybody. He's been he's been here in this division for a long time.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
You have me thinking differently about my pick, which anybody who I've brought on here has not ever made me think differently about my pick. So I'm really I'm really thinking about it right now. But what were you going to say?
Okay, so experience is huge. Obviously Jared Gordon, but at the same time, momentum is such a big thing as well, And when you have that momentum riding with you, from fight to fight, you're feeling good. If Jared Gordon's been losing and winning, he's a little inconsistent right now. Who's to say he's going to go in there? But I think that this is a closer fight than the other one. I thought that Ankalev was a no-brainer for the first bout, but this one right here, this one's tough. I'm going to stick with Jared Gordon, though. I got to stick with my pick. I can't be flipping, flopping. So that's how I'm just going to
100%. You can't be flipping and flopping because you have to trust your intuition, or else then everything goes out the window if you're just go wishy-washy, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think based on that, I have to stick with my pick, Patty the Batty Pimblett. And you know what? We're going to see how it plays out, dude. And I just really like how the way you analyze the information really made me think, wow, like, he's kind of got he's got a point. But no, I love it, Nick. You're doing a wonderful job, and I think anybody watching this can agree. And all right, so there you have it. I've got Patty the Batty. Nick's going with Jared Flash Gordon, and we're gonna see what happens on December 10th, this Saturday, at 10 p.m. So everyone go ahead and make your picks and let us know what you think about that. All right. And that brings us to a welterweight bout between Alex Morano, the plus 310 underdog, and Santiago Ponzinobbio, the minus 380 favorite out of Argentina. A little bit about these fighters. Morano debuted January 3rd of 2016. He's 22-7-0. He is a kickboxer, 31 years old. He's got six wins by knockout, 11 first-round finishes, and he's on a 4-fight win streak coming into this fight as the plus 310 underdog. Ponzinobbio, though, he debuted November 9th of 2013. He's 29-6-0. He is a striker, 35 years old, 15 wins by knockout, and 14 first-round finishes. Unfortunately, Nicholas, Alex Morano took this fight on short notice, and so the website hasn't been updated completely. So unlike the other fights where we could pull up the stats and whatnot, we can't do it with this fight.
So okay, so this is what I'm thinking. The stats aren't up there. Alex Morano took the fight on short notice, right?
That's right.
So just based on your general knowledge, how long do you know like the history of Alex Morano and Santiago's fights? Just like paraphrasing in a sense.
I wish I could look them up. Well, I can look them up. Let me just go ahead and do that because we're all about getting deep into it, right?
Right.
So
I think just off the gate, just if I had to pick, no stats, no nothing, Morano versus Santiago, I would say Santiago because if Morano, in a sense, just found out about the fight or just got pulled in the fight last minute, then he might not be as prepared. He might not be as trained up as he should be and ready for the fight.
Right. So I'm interested to see here. Okay, I'm trying to figure out this the best I can here. 1 second. Oh, I lost the page.
You're chilling. Hey, and
All
here's
right,
the thing too. If you don't find it, then we can move on to the next one.
No, for sure. Okay, so Alex Morano, go ahead and write these numbers down. His striking accuracy, 43%. Okay, so significant strikes attempted, 2,297. Okay, here we are. This is what we're looking at. 5.36 significant strikes landed. Significant strikes absorbed, 4.01. So it's very, very close there.
It seems like he's not really having that too much great of defense, but he's throwing punches, but he's not being mindful about the punches being thrown at him.
Yeah, and then we can take a look at his last couple fights. He fought Mickey Gall, which is a big name in the UFC world. Obviously, he was towards the end of his career. He got the win. And then he fought Matthew Selmasberger, who is a very fierce competitor. Very, very good. It was a crazy fight. And Morano came out with the win. And I had Selmasberger the entire fight. Like, I really wanted Selmasberger to win because that was my pick. But Morano pulled through as the underdog and won that fight. So this isn't his first time being labeled as the underdog and coming into this, with people doubting him. You know what I'm saying?
22-7 as well. 22-7.
Yeah.
Six knockouts. He said 5 submission, I believe, as well.
6 wins by knockout, 11 first-round finishes, and he's on a 4-fight win streak.
Nice.
And then we're going to look up Santiago. Now, this guy, the Argentine dagger. His last fight was in May of 2022. He lost a split decision, and before that, he was on a little bit of a He was on a 2-fight win streak. So, but look at the names he's fighting: Neil Magny, Li Jinglang, Jeff Neal. You know, he's fighting the best of the best. This guy, you know what I mean? He's fighting like the top in his division. 5 significant strikes landed, absorbed 4.77. So again, both of these guys' defense is on the lower end. The takedown defense being 61%. So I know this isn't usually how we do the show, so it's a little bit difficult, but Nick,
he's got 15 knockouts.
He does 15 wins by knockout. He's 29-6.
Based on the information we saw, did we see any grappling on the ground stats? What is he?
His takedown attempts are 19, and he's landed 4. So just a 32%. Not that great.
Okay. So it seems like this guy's obviously on his feet, throwing hands kind of fighter rather than grappling.
Some might call it throwing mitts.
Throwing mitts, yeah, no kidding, yeah. But it seems as if the other guy is throwing more punches, that he's landing more punches, and he's like getting like not taking as many punches. Mm-hmm. So I was going with Santiago, but honestly, there's just something about Morano too. I'm feeling a little like underdog kind of vibe and you know what I'm saying?
And what we talked about, the momentum, he's on a 4-fight win streak coming into this fight as the plus 310 underdog, which if he can pull this.
And Santiago just lost. He could be in his head and everything about losing and stuff. It seemed like he was kind of a little inconsistent. So I think Alex Morano, I think that I would take Morano in this.
You know what, Nick? And I'm right there with you, brother. I'm going with the underdog, my first underdog pick of the night, Alex Morano, and go ahead and book it. Nick and I both agree on this one. You got to imagine we have 2 strong intuitions, and when those intuitions, you know, can both agree on something, you better believe it's going to be a lock. So yeah, I'll be excited. I'll be excited to see how that one goes, and it's going to be really fun, truly. And that leads us to a middleweight bout. This one's going to be a very exciting fight as well between the number 9 ranked Darren Till out of the United Kingdom, the plus 160 underdog, versus Dricus du Plessis, the number 13 ranked minus 190 favorite out of South Africa. A little bit about these fighters. Darren Till debuted May 30th of 2015. He's a Muay Thai fighter, 29 years old with 10 wins by knockout. Du Plessis debuted October 10th of 2020, just almost 3 years ago now. He's an all-around mixed martial artist. He's 28 years old on a 5-fight win streak with 9 wins by knockout. Looking at the matchup stats, Nicholas, Darren Till, 18 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Du Plessis, 17 wins and 2 losses. And again, he's on that 5-fight win streak. Du Plessis has the 1-inch height advantage and a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Getting into the significant strikes here, 2.26 landed per minute at a 46% significant strike rate, at a 3.02 absorbed per minute for Till and a 58% defense. Du Plessis, on the other hand, 6.55 landed per minute at a 51% significant strike rate with a 4.23 absorbed per minute and a 52% defense. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I'm giving Darren Till. I'm giving him the edge based on he's got the better defense, right? However, I think that Du Plessis is bigger in every category, taller, he weighs more, his reach is longer. He's landing more than triple the amount of hits per minute than Darren Till, and and his percentage is more as well. So I'm going to go, Du Plessis, I think overwhelmingly right now is my pick.
Yeah, and Du Plessis, like, I've seen him fight, and he's an absolute dog. Like, he's got heart, grit, and he's willing to turn this into a dirty brawl, you know what I mean? And that's where he thrives, you know, where it's just who's tougher.
Just by the aura of, like, looking at both of these guys, it looks like Du Plessis is ready to go. Like, he's ready to beat the shit out of Darren Till. Like, Darren Till looks like he just got home from his 9 to 5. He wants a ham and cheese sandwich from his wife. He's yelling at the kids. He takes one more bite.
That's so true. And it's funny because an article came out about him and domestic violence.
Oh, geez. Okay.
No, I'm completely kidding. Darren Till, I'm sorry. That was a joke.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Duplessis. I mean, it's gonna Till's in for it. He's really in for it.
Fuck yeah, dude! I love it, man. You're onto something too, because I see the same shit. Like, just based off of their stature and how they're, Duplessis has his shoulders back, chest out, and Darren Till is like sunken in. His shoulders are slouched down. Like, he looks like he's being reprimanded in third grade. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, so, Darren Till is on the borderline between a big chest and those are titties. You know what I'm saying? Man, titties.
Man, titties.
Yeah, gosh. Hey, really quick, I started drinking this tea, this lion's mane's tea, and it's got cinnamon in it, and it's got like different ingredients in it, and it's called mud water, and I've been drinking it in the morning, and it's all right. It's not too bad. I mixed it with a little bit of coffee this morning, but I'm, like we were talking about the tea a long time ago, so I thought, have you ever tried this mud water?
I haven't tried mud water. No, I've never.
It seems like Darren Till needs to start drinking some mud water. Or maybe you should get off of it. I don't know. You tell me. All right.
Let's get into the grappling numbers here before we make our final picks. Duplessis takes the cake with the takedown average of 1.2 per 15, just an 18% accuracy, but 100% takedown defense. Darren Till, 0.5 takedown average at a 41% takedown accuracy and a 78% takedown defense. Listen, you're not going to get many takedowns with posture like that, Till. So take notes.
And the thing is, like, it looks like Duplessis is 100% defense. Like, you try taking him down, he's gonna just kick you down and just start beating the shit out of you. And that's I feel like Darren Till, he's gonna try to like use his ground game a little bit, his grappling game, get a couple of takedowns, and Duplessis is just gonna stiff arm him like Najee Harris did to the Falcons defender, and just start wailing on him.
I don't even think he's gonna try to take him down. I think it's gonna be on the feet type of fight, and I think Duplessis is gonna run through him. So Duplessis is the minus 190 favorite. That's not too big to still be parlayed with another fighter and still get some good odds out of that. So maybe we can build a parlay, Nicholas, and we'll both go in. So if we win, we split the
That sounds like a great idea. I love that idea.
Cool. All right. Well, my pick is Duplessis. Like I mentioned, I think he's going to run through this. I can imagine you're probably going to say the same.
Yes, Duplessis all day long.
All day long. I love it. All right. Well, that brings us to the fight I'm looking forward to the most, a featherweight bout between number 9 ranked Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty, the plus 115 underdog, and Ilia Topuria, the number 14 ranked featherweight with the minus 135 favorite odds. Bryce Mitchell, dude, you've got to look up his rap. Nick, I'm gonna send you some of his rap songs. He's fire, dude. He's good. And,
okay, so does he make music videos or does he just rap songs?
No, yeah, he makes country rap, dude. It's so sick. And and he debuted July 6th of 2018. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 27 years old, on a 6-fight win streak, 9 wins by submission, and 8 first-round finishes. Okay, Topuria debuted October 10th of 2020. He is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist, 25 years old, with 7 wins by submission and 9 first-round finishes. Bryce Mitchell is the underdog here, but he's 15-1, technically 15-0. I mean, there's controversy around his one loss, but that doesn't matter, okay? Topuria, 12-0, less fights, but still that perfect record. Bryce Mitchell's going to have a 3-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Looking at the significant strike numbers here, 2.28 landed per minute at a 63% significant strike rate. Very good numbers. I mean, when you can get over 50, that's great. And he's on the lower end of the 60s there with a 1.39 absorb per minute. You can't hit the guy. A 59% defense. Ilia, on the other hand, 2.87 landed per minute at a 48% significant strike rate. That's not bad, with a 2.28 absorb per minute and a 64% defense. But looking at these, Bryce Mitchell, in my eyes, takes that cake. You know what I mean? They have he has less production. It's almost the same production. I mean, we're talking about small amounts here with such a higher percentage of a significant strike rate and a way lower absorb per minute.
He's more. It seems as if Bryce Mitchell is like he's more efficient with his punches and he's more methodical. So it seems as if he probably takes his time, waits for the punches to land. It seems like his defense is pretty good. I mean, he's averaging almost half less absorbed per minute than Ilya is. Even though he's landing a little less per minute, I think that significant strike percentage of the amount of strikes he's throwing. So he's got better defense. And then when he hits, he hits. You know what I'm saying? It kind of sounds like Ilya, he gets his hits in. His defense isn't as great. But I would have to agree with you. Bryce Mitchell would be, after looking at these numbers, my pick.
Doesn't Ilya Topuria, when you try to say his last name?
Ilya Topuria.
Yeah, doesn't it kind of give you sushi vibes? It like makes you hungry for sushi.
Yeah, Ilya Topuria. Let me get that shrimp, lobster, and Ilya Topuria. Hey, like no seaweed, just rice.
No sauce either.
Yeah.
Anyway, the grappling numbers here, very interesting for both of these fighters. 3.4 takedown average over 15 for Bryce Mitchell at a 52% takedown accuracy. That's great. Half of his takedowns are succeeding with just a 33% takedown defense, though. The submission average for both of these lads is rather high. 1.89 for Bryce Mitchell, 2.63 for Ilya. Ilya 3.15 takedown average over 15 with a 46% takedown accuracy and a 100% takedown defense. I will say, if we're talking about the ground game, Bryce Mitchell he's got heart. He's a dog. He fights. But I think Topuria takes it on the ground here, while Bryce Mitchell significantly takes it on the feet. So I think that's where you're going to see both of these fighters try to exploit that in each other and get to their path of victory.
Absolutely. I think it seems as if so Bryce is the bigger individual, right? He's taller. He's the taller individual. So he's not going to be able to take down Ilya as well. He's 3-inch height difference. So I think that this is going to be on their feet type of fight. I think that because Bryce Mitchell, from our initial analysis, is a better methodical, slower, better defense on his feet, I would have to still stick with Bryce Mitchell here.
I love that pick, and I agree with you. I'm going for Bryce Mitchell, the plus 115 underdog in this fight. I think that's a steal. If you parlay him with who do we talk about before? Duplessis. I think we're in for some winnings there. So Bryce Mitchell is my first underdog was Alex Morano. My second underdog being Bryce Mitchell. Go ahead and book that. If you can get Bryce Mitchell as an underdog, I mean, it's a steal, honestly, because he's a great fighter. He's 15-1. That's what we're talking about here. A little bit of extra information on this one, Nicholas, is that these two fighters have had some beef recently. So there's more than just doing this for the promotion. They actually want to fight each other. You know what I mean?
I was just going to say, I feel like this fight, before you even telling me that, I thought that this was going to be a bloodbath just because of the record alone. If Bryce Mitchell, like you said, his one loss is under controversy, let's say he is 15-0, Ilya is 12-0, they're not going to want to lose to this guy they've been beefing with, and they'll do anything it takes. And it even then reinforces what I said more about the on the ground, like on their feet, throwing punches rather than takedowns. They're just going to be wanting to hit the shit out of each other. They're just going to want to break the other one apart, and they're not going to want that loss. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. This is going to be a great fight. I can't believe this card was a lower card than the previous card.
What do you mean?
I feel like this fight is more intriguing than the fight we just talked about.
Okay, then the Darren Till and Duplessis.
Yeah, because Duplessis is just going to slaughter Till. And then this one right here looks like it's going to be real close, real nice bloodbath. I mean, this would have been a perfect fight to lead into the next final three, I believe.
Right. But I will say this is going to be the fight that's opening up the main card,
Oh, right, like the first of the main card. Yeah, right. And then just throw Till in there. He'll get his ass kicked real quick. Just throw him right in the middle. Darren Till, are you out there? What do you have to say about this?
Yeah. So, guys, that is our coverage of UFC 282's main card. Again, like, comment, subscribe if you like what we got going on here. I'm Ryan Moget, Nicholas Mainous. This has been fun so far, dude. Like, I'm really enjoying this, honestly, and I'm excited to go through the rest of the card because we have some interesting fighters up next that I can't wait to tell you about and get your take on them. Honestly, you've got some good ass takes, Nick.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes.
Dude.
And these takes, ladies and gentlemen, these Throwin Mitts takes are going to be, translated into football and basketball takes on the main review. Go check it out. Episode 1 is out now. More to come on that. And Ryan will be joining me as a guest on the main review as well. We're talking fights. We're talking gridiron. We're talking hoops. We're talking hockey. We're talking more. All right, gridiron. Ladies and gentlemen.
I love it.
More sports.
More sports, baby. Dude, and I want there to be a way that you can watch these fights. I want to watch these fights with you so we can, like, obviously, talk about it. So we'll have to figure something out because, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But
you can just drive down here this weekend.
Yeah, I'm off Saturday. But that leads us to the featured prelim of the evening. And the prelim start at 8 p.m. Saturday, December 10th. A heavyweight bout between Jairzinho Rozenstruik, the minus 170 favorite, the number 9 ranked heavyweight, and the plus 145, number 11 ranked Chris Daukaus out of the United States. A little bit about these fighters. Rozenstruik debuted February 2nd of 2019. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 34 years old, with 11 wins by knockout. Chris Daukaus, on the other hand, the older brother of Kyle Daukaus, who just got his face fucking beat in last week. He debuted August 15th of 2020. He's a freestyle fighter, 32 years old, with 11 wins by knockout and 8 first-round finishes. This is a difficult fight for me to pick, Nick, because I'm very torn because the numbers are telling me one thing, but my intuition is telling me the other, and I had to follow the intuition, okay? But let's look at the matchup stats. Rozenstruik, 12 wins, 4 losses, a loss in his last fight. He's 6'2" with a 78-inch reach. He'll have the 2-inch reach advantage, but a 1-inch height disadvantage. Chris Daukaus, 12 wins, 5 losses, a loss in his last fight, and it was brutal. One of the worst knockouts I've ever seen. A one-punch, head snap back, laid out on the mat knockout. And that was against Curtis Razor Blades. Let's look at the significant strike numbers here. 2.8 landed per minute for Rozenstruik at a 45% significant strike rate with a 3.24 absorbed per minute and a 45% defense. Daukaus, on the other hand, 6.47 landed per minute at a 50% significant strike rate. The absorbed per minute a little high at 4.02, but with that kind of production, you have to think, something's got to give. He's got a 59% defense. Who do you think takes the cake on these significant strike numbers right off the rip, Nick?
Well, Chris Daukaus, I think, has the edge here, almost tripling the landed per minute punches, and he has a higher rate at hitting those punches. He does take more punches, it looks like, but his defense is 14% better than his opponent. And I have to just say he is ranked number 11th, Chris Daukaus. And so just by my first impression, I saw that he was ranked 11 and I like the number 11 a lot. So I was like, Chris Daukaus, I like you. I like that. And I give him the edge here. And I have to say, you're doing a phenomenal job of pronouncing these names because be a whole lot better than I would be. That's for sure.
Thank you. I try my best, and I've gotten some flack about them not being that good, so I have to keep trying. The grappling numbers here are almost non-existent for both of these gentlemen. 75% takedown defense for Rozenstruik and 100% for Daukaus. So we know that's where what's happening here is that, look, the grappling numbers are insignificant, Nick. So we know this fight is going to take place on the feet. And Rozenstruik's numbers just aren't that appealing to me. You know what I mean? While Chris Daukaus does have a more absorbed per minute, it's so minuscule, compared to Rozenstruik's. I mean, they're almost similar, and Daukaus's production is so much more,
I think, too, that because Daukaus, you said he just got his ass kicked. He just got the most deadly knockout, one of the deadliest knockouts you've ever seen. He's going to be coming back like he just got embarrassed. He's going to be coming back like, I need some redemption. I need to get this win. I need to move up in the rankings. I think he's going to be coming ready, and I got Daukaus here.
And man, it's just tough because I told myself after I picked his brother last weekend, who was a favorite. I was like, fuck this. I'm not taking any of the Dawkins brothers ever again. But I can't do that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you have to think about this way. If one of your family members lost a fight, would that reflect on you as well? You know?
Sure, you probably want redemption.
Yeah, right. You want to redeem your family. You know what I mean? He's gonna go out there and even though this guy didn't kick his brother's ass, he's gonna kick his ass for his brother, and for him getting his ass kicked weeks ago.
Right. And all right, you know what, Nick?
And who's the favorite here?
Rosenstruck is the favorite.
Yeah, I'm going Dawkins. Underdog City.
Underdog City, but he's a small underdog, plus 145. That's nothing.
But if you want to stick with Rosenstruck, all the power to you, brother. I'm just going with Dawkins.
I'm going with
Dawkins.
And you know what? I think I'm going to go with Chris Dawkins too, because he's 2 years younger. You know, Rosenstruck, 34 years old. He's fought the best of the best, but honestly, every dog has its day, and it's no longer Rosenstruck's day. Okay, both of these fighters have lost their last 2 fights, and I think Dawkins still has the chance for redemption and to kind of get back to what he was doing. Rosenstruck, he's been around. He's done his thing. He debuted in, 2019, but he's been professional fighting for a long time. So, you know what? I'm going to go with Chris Dawkins here.
Nice. I think that's a good pick.
All right. Awesome. So there you have it. That's the featured prelim that Nicholas and I both agree on. So make sure to tune in because these prelims will be free. You can catch them anywhere. They are on ESPN Plus. So the only thing that you have to pay for is this main card, these fights, but these are free. So if you have ESPN, you can watch this. Okay. And that leads us to a bantamweight bout between the 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. and Jay Perrin. That's right, Nick. I said this kid's 18 years old. So when he first, okay. So do you know what Dana White's Contender Series is?
I don't. Enlighten me.
So it's where all of these fighters from wherever there's 100 fighters in over 8 to 10 weeks. They're paired up and they fight for a UFC contract. There's like 5 fights, and at the end of the night, Dana White says, you get a contract. Not sometimes nobody gets a contract. You have to impress him and win. You know what I mean? And sometimes people even impress him in a loss and they still get a contract. So Raul Rosas Jr. was 17 years old earlier this year when he fought on Dana White's Contender Series. He won, and Dana White gave him a contract. He is now 18 years old, making his UFC debut on a pay-per-view card at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada this weekend against the struggling so far in his UFC career, Jay Perrin, okay? A little bit about these fighters. Raul Rosas Jr., it's his debut. He's 18 years old. He is a grappler, and he is 6-0 in his professional career, all right?
Okay.
Let's see here. Jay Perrin. So Raul Rosas Jr. is the minus 240 favorite. He's a huge favorite, and he's 18 years old. His first fight in the UFC against a packed crowd. I know, it's fucking bizarre. Wow. Jay Perrin is the plus 195 underdog. He debuted February 19th of 2022. He is a karate specialist, 29 years old, with 4 wins by submission. Looking at the matchup stats here, like I said, Raul Rosas Jr. over his professional career, 6-0. It's his debut. Jay Perrin is 10-6. Not the best record for an overall.
I think it already seems to me that they're setting Raul Rosas here for a win. Not that it's a set-up win, but they want him to fight a guy that, he's not terrible when you look at his stats, but he's not great. I think that just off the grade here, I think that the rookie, the guy who's coming in 6-0, he's ready for his first fight. And Jay Perrin, like you said, he just lost a fight. You can't really see the size difference in Raul Rojas, but I think that young up-and-coming beginner's luck energy in a sense, especially facing a guy, thank you very much, that has those 6 losses as well.
But I will say this, and this you won't know because you don't know the athletes.
Hey, you got that straw? Is there a straw out there? Yeah, I just put it. Oh, thank you. I see it. Thanks.
Jay Perrin, his debut was against a fighter. I can't remember his first name, but it's Batista, who is a fucking animal, right? His debut was against an animal. He went 3 rounds with him. He lost, but he went 3 rounds. Then he fights the Mongolian Knight, who is another great fighter. He went 3 rounds with him and lost. So it's not like Jay Perrin is being ran over. He is putting up a fight in all of these competitions he's been involved with. So don't get it twisted that this Jay Perrin is just going to roll over and let Rosas Jr. have his way. I think it's going to be a great fight. And again, you're right in saying that it's a fight that Rosas Jr. could win, but Jay Perrin, you got to think, he's hungrier than ever. He's like, I haven't gotten a win in the UFC. If I don't get one soon, they're going to cut me. I will no longer be a part of the UFC. So he's starving for a win. Let's go ahead and look at the significant strike numbers. 1.33 landed per minute at a 50% significant strike rate with just a 0.8 absorbed per minute. With just a 0.8 absorbed per minute and a 25% defense for Rosas Jr. Jay Perrin, 3.84 landed per minute at a 46% significant strike rate with a 4.07 absorbed per minute, a 44% defense. The numbers are heavily in Jay Perrin's favor. Okay. And at the end of the day, there's not much data that you can review for Rosas Jr., so that's why his numbers are so specific. And Jay Perrin's obviously had a couple more fights. So
I look at this and I say 50% more significant strikes, not 50% more, but he's got the bigger significant strike efficiency percentage, right? Even though he's hitting triple less, he's taking 4 times less the amount of punches Rosas is. So it seems as if he is also that methodical. It says his defense isn't the highest in percentage. He's probably I don't know exactly his fighting style. Maybe he's running around a little bit. Maybe he's not throwing in as many punches. I don't know. I'm still feeling Rosas here. There's just something about Rosas. I'm feeling it.
Okay, and then we'll look at the grappling numbers. 3 takedown averages over 15 minutes for both of these fighters. 60% accuracy for Rosas Jr. and a 52% accuracy for Perrin, while Rosas Jr. has a 0% takedown defense because I don't think anybody's ever tried to take him down. And Jay Perrin, 64% takedown defense. 1 submission on average for Rosas Jr. At the end of the day, I personally think this is a fight that Rosas Jr. can win, but he's got to have the perfect fight. You know what I mean? He has to be absolutely perfect in every single degree and maybe even get a little bit of luck, which I think can happen. But to me, Jay Perrin is starving for a win. He's not a bad fighter, and I think it's almost disrespectful that they're putting up against an 18-year-old kid. So I think Perrin's going to come out here with a point to prove, and I think he's going to do it.
Okay, respectful. Fair enough. But I'm going to still go with Rosas, so that's another different pick. Mark it down, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think? The Throwin Mitts community, Rosas Jr. or Perrin? You tell us. I don't know. I'm just a guy. We'll see.
Yeah, he's just a guy. All right. Then we have a middleweight bout between the minus 280 favorite Edmund Shabazian and the plus 235 underdog Dalcha Lungiambula.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Lungiambula. And a little bit about these two. Shabazian debuted November 30th of 2018. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 24 years old, with a 6-inch height advantage with 9 wins by knockout. So look at this, Nick. He's got the 6-inch height advantage, but the other guy has a 2-inch reach advantage.
Wow, that guy's just got long arms.
You can actually see it. Look how long his arms are, and look how tall this guy is. He's got short little fucking.
He kind of is giving me that Till look. That
which one?
The guy on the left, Edmund.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into their matchup stats. 11-3 record for Shabazian, a loss in his last fight. Lungiambula, 11 wins, 5 losses, a loss in his last fight, okay? Oh, actually, I remember looking back at it. Both of these fighters have lost their last 3 fights, Nick. They're at what we call the chopping block. It's like if if you lose like 4 to 5 fights in a row, you're cut. You know what I mean? You obviously are not up to the same level, right?
Mhm.
So this is a statement fight for both of these guys. 3.24 landed per minute for Shabazian at a 50% significant strike rate, a 4.13 absorbed per minute, which isn't that great at a 46% defense. 3.18 landed per minute for Lungiabula at a 44% significant strike rate, and a 3.66 absorbed per minute with a 53% defense. What do you see out of those significant strike numbers?
Well, Edmund is landing more punches, and he's doing it at a more efficient rate. He's absorbing more punches, and he's got less defense. But it makes me think with these guys, maybe Edmund's just the more aggressive fighter in a sense, and he's not as defensive as Dolce. So I could go either way here so far. I'd probably give the edge to Dolce just a little bit because of the defense. And I think when you have that good defense, like it goes both ways, you know what I mean? But yeah, I would have to, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to look at the grappling numbers before I can really make a decision.
I like it. Well, the grappling numbers, 2.71 takedown average over 15 for Shabazian at a 37% takedown accuracy with a 57% takedown defense. Lungiambula, 2.49 takedown average over 15 minutes at a 55% takedown accuracy and a 77% takedown defense. So Lungiambula takes the cake in those numbers as well.
Yeah, I do like Lungiambula's numbers there a lot, and he's the shorter guy, and he has those long arms, so that makes sense as to why his takedowns, his accuracy is very well. He doesn't have as many takedowns, but it's going to be harder for Edmund to hit takedowns on Lungiambula. So yes, Edmund does have the advantage. He has the longer reach. I mean, no, he doesn't have the longer reach. So he doesn't have as long of a reach. He's not as he's taller. So it's going to be hard for him to hit takedowns. He can, like if the Lungiambula throws a punch, his punch is going to connect before his Edmonds even reaches his face. So I think that if Dolce can get him on the ground, feed it to him a little bit. I think Lungiambula, he's got the edge here. I'd probably go with him.
I'm going to go ahead because I forgot to read off some of the stats about Lungiambula. He debuted January 29th of 2019. He is a boxer. That goes great with his long reach, and he's 35 years old. Now, looking at the ages of these two fighters real quick, Lungiambula, 35 years old. Shabazian, 24 years old. Look at their records. 11-3 for Edmund and 11-5 for Dolce. Dolce is 10 years older than him and has only had 2 more professional fights in that span. So Edmund Shabazian, he's just getting into his professional career. You know what I mean? He's at the starting line. And Lungiambula at 35 years old, you've maybe got three at best good more years. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I think he's going to want to make those 3 years a good 3 years. He's not going to want to take any losses during that 3-year span.
Of course. Yeah. I just think Edmund, he's had, both of these fighters have 9 wins by knockout. It's going to stay on the ground, or it's going to stay on the feet. In my opinion, they're going to duke it out. And at the end of the day, Edmund has more production at a higher significant strike rate. And, while they're very, very close in those numbers, the absorb per minute is higher by just a tad. So I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to be a good one. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to have to disagree with you and go with Shabazian in this fight because I think he can really make a statement here and get back on track with his career. While Lungiambula, he's on this losing streak. And if he adds one more, at what point is your confidence just totally destroyed?
Right, for sure. I could see that. I could see that angle. Absolutely.
I like it. Well, that leads us to a middleweight bout between Chris Action Man Curtis, the number 14 ranked 130 plus 135 underdog, and Joaquin Buckley, the minus 155 favorite. Let's go ahead and look at these fighters. Action Man is from Cincinnati, Ohio. He debuted November 6th of 2021. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 35 years old, with 16 wins by knockout and 7 first-round finishes. Joaquin Buckley debuted August 8th of 2020. He's a freestyle fighter, and he's 28 years old. Chris Curtis, look at this record: 29 wins, 9 losses. A loss in his last fight. Joaquin Buckley, 15 wins, 5 losses. A loss in his last fight as well. Same height. The reach just 0.5 differential in Buckley's favor. Looking at the significant strikes here, 6 strikes landed per minute at a 58% significant strike rate with a 6.39 absorbed per minute. I mean, that's, you get what you give, I guess. 52% defense. 3.19 landed per minute for Buckley at a 32% significant strike rate with a 3.42 absorbed per minute and a 54% defense. What do you see off of these numbers?
Well, it seems like Chris Curtis doesn't give a shit if he gets hit, and he just wants to hit. You know what I'm saying? Like he just wants to throw hands, and it seems like, I mean, is he getting knocked out? Is he not getting knocked out? Is he taking those punches? Is he going the full distance in those fights? Because if he can take punches and deliver almost double Buckley's, I'm thinking Curtis here.
So his last 2 fights have gone to decision. He won 1, lost 1. And then other than that, he knocked out his 2 previous fighters. So
nice.
he's
Curtis anyways.
2 wins by knockouts, 1 win by decision, 1 loss to decision. And his most recent loss was against a very highly ranked fighter, and he took the fight on a short notice.
Okay, gotcha. So he took the fight on a short notice and won.
And he lost.
That fight. Oh, he lost that fight.
Yeah.
But he went the distance.
Yep. Against a ranked fighter.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think Curtis has the edge here. Absolutely. We'll see what the grappling looks like, but I think if it stays on their feet and they're going toe to toe, yeah.
So it looks like Joaquin Buckley is the more aggressive fighter in taking it to the ground with 1.35 takedown average over 15 minutes and a 30% takedown accuracy. While Chris Curtis's takedown defense is 100%. So even if Joaquin Buckley does want to take this to the ground, it's going to be a task for him in that. So again, I think we can both agree that it's kind of cookie cutter that Chris Curtis is the pick here. But what's interesting about that is he's the plus 135 underdog, Nick. It's so crazy. But what I will say is that the lines don't dictate who the better fighter is. It's who's the more popular fighter. It's because the lines only move based on where money is put. So if Joaquin Buckley is a fan favorite and people don't really like Chris Curtis, it doesn't matter who he's fighting. He could become the underdog just based on that.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, you know what though? People in Vegas, they know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I always say trust the lines at the same time, but I think more or less the lines just tell you whether it's going to be close or not. You know what I mean? So this line shows me that it's going to be close, even though that Curtis is an underdog, but I would still go with Curtis here.
Yeah, I'm going with Curtis as well. He's got more experience in the octagon as well, and he's an Ohio boy. So
he's an Ohio boy.
We're
Ohio boy. Ha!
So we both agree that Chris Curtis is our pick for that first fight of the prelim. And that has been the prelim coverage of UFC 282. Again, if you like what we're doing here at Throwin Mitts, like, comment, subscribe, argue with us in the comments. Tell us what you think. We don't care. And yeah, that's that. And that leads us to the early prelims where we just have 4 more fights to go through here. The early prelims, completely free. On Saturday, December 10th at 5:30 p.m. And we have the featured one, a featherweight bout between Billy Quarantillo, the minus 165 favorite, and Alexander Hernandez, the plus 140 underdog. Hey, is your door open by chance, Nick?
No, there's just some loud beasts in the other room, unfortunately.
Yep. I didn't know if you
I'll turn this mic volume down a little bit.
Sure. Billy Quarantillo debuted December 7th of 2019. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 33 years old, and he's got 7 wins by knockout and 5 wins by submission. Alexander Hernandez debuted March 3rd of 2018. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 29 years old, with 6 wins by knockout. Looking at the matchup stats here, 16 wins, 4 losses for Billy Quarantillo. A loss in his last fight. He's going to have the 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach disadvantage. Alexander Hernandez, 13 wins, 5 losses, a loss in his last fight. And the significant strike numbers. Wow, look at this. 7.74 landed per minute at a 59% significant strike rate. That is fucking awesome with that kind of production. Although the absorbed per minute a little bit high, But with that kind of, production, you have to expect 5.8 with a 40% defense. Now, Alexander Hernandez, on the other hand, 3.997 landed per minute, which is great production at just a 37% significant strike rate, with his absorbed per minute being 3.94, almost 4, and a 57% defense. What are your thoughts? Oh, I can't hear you, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So I think that 7.74 seems overwhelming. Like, I mean, that feels like a lot of punches that he's landing at a very high efficiency rate too. Yeah, his defense is a little lower and he's absorbing more punches, but I mean, I feel like that almost 8 punches landing per minute significantly, and it looks like when he's throwing them, he's landed them. So, I have to give the edge here to Billy.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at the grappling numbers, very similar in both of these guys. 1.37 takedown average over 15 for Quarantillo, at just a 21% accuracy, with the takedown defense being 57. And then I will highlight the submission average over 15, 1.37 for Quarantillo. Alexander Hernandez, 1.43 takedown average over 15, with a 33% takedown accuracy and a 64% takedown defense. Those numbers are very similar, but in my eyes, when I see the submission average being 1.37, it just tells me that even if he does get taken down, he's going to be comfortable there, and still that's a level of danger that Hernandez has to anticipate.
Absolutely, yeah. He's and the thing is, that's why he's probably going to want to keep it on his feet as well, because he knows that Billy will be comfortable when he hits the ground. So he's just going to have to kind of rely on those punches that Billy's throwing to open up for him to land, because obviously Billy does absorb a lot of punches. But I still give the edge here to Billy with almost 8 punches landed efficiently per minute. I think that's very good.
Most definitely. I'm going to have to agree with you, man. I'm going to go Billy Quarantillo with this fight here. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's a great pick.
Fantastic, brother. Then we have a featherweight bout between TJ Brown and Eric Silva. Eric Silva being a UFC newcomer, so we're not going to have as many stats for him. But what I will say is TJ Brown, the minus 110. Technically, he's the underdog because Eric Silva is minus 120. So that's how close of a fight this is, that you can't even get plus money on either of these guys. TJ Brown debuted August 27th of 2019. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 32 years old, with 9 wins by submission and 9 first-round finishes. Eric Silva debuted, this is his debut, and he's 35 years old, okay? He's debuting in the UFC at 35 years old, but his record is 9-1. And he's on an 8-fight win streak. So his professional record is 9-1, and he's on an 8-fight win streak right now. TJ Brown, 16 wins, 9 losses, a loss in his last fight. And let's see if we can get some significant strike numbers here. 3.68 landed per minute at a 43% significant strike rate for Brown, with a 2.88 absorbed per minute, which is pretty good, and a 50% defense. Now look at Eric Silva here. 7.83 landed per minute at a 70% significant strike rate, 0 absorbed per minute, and 100% defense.
Wow, that's really overwhelming. 10 fights in, he's landing 8 punches almost per minute, and he's doing it with 70% efficiency rate, and he's defending at 100%. I mean, it's very hard to go against Eric Silva right now. I mean, right? Especially with TJ Brown having, what was that, 7 losses?
Let's see, 9 losses.
9 losses, yeah. So I think that Eric's going to go in there. He's going to open up TJ Brown. He's going to let him have him. He's going to be defending. We'll see the grappling numbers, but I'm going strong Eric Silva right here.
And then it only gets better.
Yeah, TJ Brown is in for it.
3.86 takedown average over 15 at a 61% takedown accuracy. That's pretty good for TJ Brown, but his defense being 41% to Eric Silva, who's got 9.78 takedowns on average and 100% takedown accuracy. No wonder he's not getting hit at all, because he takes him down immediately.
Yeah. I think that TJ Brown, he better come.
One thing to highlight, though, look at this submission average, 1.65. So Eric Silva can't get reckless here. He still has to be fundamental and do this the smart way, because anybody can get caught regardless. If you're not thinking, you can get caught in a submission or a choke that before you know it, you're tapping out, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's very good point. He can't get out of sorts. He can't take too many big risks. He has to stick to his foundations. But I think that if he comes in there and he's conservative and he lands his punches and he's making sure that he's not getting taken down, but at the same time, it looks like this guy can throw some hands and then take you down. It's not, you never know what he's gonna do.
Yeah, true. He's very overwhelming. And Nick, this is a free fight, so make sure I'm going to try to get my eyes on this one. And that leads us to the very last two fights, which turn out to be the first two fights of this card. A flyweight bout between how would you say that, Nick?
Vinicius Salvador.
Vinicius Salvador and Daniel Da Silva. Let's get into it. Vinicius Salvador, it's his UFC debut. He is a Dana White Contender Series graduate. He is a jiu-jitsu specialist, 26 years old. He's got 13 wins by knockout, and he's and 9 first-round finishes. So a jiu-jitsu specialist with 13 wins by knockout. So it sounds like he's very well-rounded no matter where the fight goes. He's a minus 215 favorite against Daniel Da Silva, who's been struggling very bad in his UFC tenure so far. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He debuted October 23rd of 2021. He is a striker, 26 years old, with 6 wins by submission and 10 first-round finishes. But last time out, he fought somebody in their UFC debut, and they totally outskilled him. They beat the shit out of him. So he's just had a really tough go. He's had a really tough go, and I kind of feel bad for the guy, but hey, this is the business. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Vinicius will have the 1-inch height advantage, and we don't know his reach. So looking at the significant strikes here, 8.43 landed per minute at a 45% significant strike rate with a very high 7.15 absorbed per minute. But compared to Daniel Da Silva's 10.26, it looks like nothing. He's got a 61% defense. Daniel Da Silva, 4.29 landed per minute at a good 60% significant strike rate, but that absorbed per minute 10.26 is just out of hand, and a 26% defense.
Yeah, these numbers are making it very hard for me to give Silva any chance whatsoever. It seems like Vinicius, he's going to be throwing punches, and Daniel Da Silva is just going to be taking them. He's just going to be taking them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Da Silva, based on these grappling numbers, can get him to the ground. It doesn't look like there's going to be much of any ground action here with these numbers.
Right. The takedown average being 1.4 over 15 with just a 33% accuracy, and Salvador is 100% takedown defense. So like you said, I don't think we're going to see much on the ground. And I think this is just going to be overwhelming for Da Silva. This kind of production where his defense already isn't to the standard. I think this could be a loss for Da Silva, and it'll probably be his last fight in the UFC.
Yeah, I agree. And if this is Salvador's debut, he's going to come in there. He's going to be ready to go. Yeah. Silva's a little discouraged. His confidence is low. He's probably waiting to just get kicked, knocked out the door at this point already. So I'm taking Salvador here and possibly by a knockout.
All right. I like it, brother. I like it. We'll add that to our parlay. I'm serious.
I love it.
All right. And then we have the very first fight of the night, Nicholas. And this is one you're going to be excited about. And I don't even have to. You're gonna know why. Cameron Samian, the minus 325 favorite. It's his UFC debut. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 21 years old, with 4 wins by knockout and 2 first-round finishes. Against the plus 250 underdog, Stephen Koslow. He's 6-0, 25 years old, and he's all of his 6 professional fights that he's won have come by submission. And here is his nickname, Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow. I don't know where it's coming from, but Obi-Wan.
And that's the Cameron guy.
That's Stephen Koslow.
Koslow is Obi-Wan Shinobi.
Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow. The pillow is just thrown in on the back end. I don't know why.
There's not much. Wow, he hasn't fought one fight, and it's his debut UFC fight.
So I had to look it up. No, he is 6-0 in professional MMA, and all 6 of his fights were won by submission.
By submission, he submissioned every single person.
Yeah.
And then what about the other guy on the left?
The other guy, he's got 2 first-round finishes and 4 wins by knockout.
Oh, 4 wins by knockout. So just by those numbers alone, it looks like if Obi-Wan can take this man to the ground, get his arms behind his neck, put him in a chokehold, it's going to be not lights out for Cameron. However, if he stays on his feet, if he doesn't, we'll see. Well, honestly, we'll see what this grappling defense looks like for Cameron, because if the grappling defense is nice, then I'm going to probably go with Cameron here.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Let's take a look. The significant strikes, 4.43 landed per minute at a 39% significant strike rate. Nothing special, but the absorbed per minute is nice, 2.95. Nothing crazy, a 59% defense. Those are average numbers. Those are good average numbers. The grappling numbers, though, 1.17 takedown average at a 33% takedown accuracy, 0% takedown defense. And I don't know if that's because no one has had the chance to try to take him down yet, is the thing. So,
right.
It's going to be really interesting to see. And, for him to be the minus 325 favorite is a little bit much for me with someone who's obviously very dangerous if this goes to the ground.
I totally agree. And I honestly, based on these averages from Cameron, it makes me want to go with Steven, even though we can't see Steven's numbers. First of all, because he's, it's just, I got a hunch here that Steven's going to come in there ready to go. He's going to take him down to the ground. Even though Cameron is knocking people out, it doesn't seem like he's landing you said they're average numbers, right? But if Steven, every single fight, he's taking these guys down to the ground. He's submitting them every single time. And if Cameron can't stop that, it's going to be, like we said, night for Cameron Simon. So I'm going with Steven Koslow here.
Dude, I'm going with Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow, Steven Koslow. I don't understand the nickname. I hope somebody asks him about it on Fight Night. But I think this is a great way to open this UFC 282 card. Two guys debuting in their UFC. It's going to be a dogfight. They're both hungry to make a statement to start their career in the UFC. So I think it's going to be a wonderful display of MMA. And we both picked Steven Koslow on that one. And guys, that's it. That's 13 fights right there.
And if anyone does know why, bless you, the the reasoning behind that nickname, comment it in the comments below. Let us know. Give us the information. Join the conversation, guys.
Please let us know. Join the conversation. Like, comment, subscribe. This has been so fun, Nick. And honestly, seriously, I love your analysis of all this information and everything that you've brought to the table, man. So if we could do this more often, I would totally be in.
Absolutely, yes. We'll be talking UFC. We'll be talking football. We'll be talking basketball, some hockey. You know what I mean? More sports coming at you guys. This has been a lot of fun, dude. I had a blast as well.
Dude, this is awesome, bro. So, yes, guys, this has been my guest, Nicholas Mainous. Give him a round of applause. This was super fun again. He's shadow boxing. And we're going to go ahead and peace out. And we'll let you know how that parlay comes along. And we'll be posting it on my Twitter, being Mitts_Throwin on Twitter. Okay, so go ahead and follow that. And you can find the main review there as well. So,
yes, we're going to be very active on sports Twitter accounts, guys. That's more or less where the more sports content it will be, is on the Twitter sphere.
Most definitely. All right, guys, this has been Throwin Mitts. All right, thank you so much, and peace out.
Peace.